Greetings Internet and welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. Okay, a lot of you have asked for this, so I'm going to do it. This is Ambush Mission 3 and I'm quite excited to play this as well. I've been looking forward to doing it and yeah. So let's get down to the map and I'll discuss what's going on and then we can start playing. Down on the map we go. So Mission 3 uses the same map. I mean, there's only two maps in the Ambush core set, so it's using the same map as I used in Mission 2, though there are some setup differences which we'll go through. So first of all, let's discuss the actual scenario, what it wants me to do, and then I'll start discussing my thought process and the way I've actually set up and what I want to do. So we're doing mission, as I say, Mission 3, and it's called a cold morning in Belgium. So it says your squad on garrison duty in a quiet sector of the front is bivouacked in a small village just east of a running river. On this misty, snowy morning, your men have been ordered to patrol nearby bombed-out buildings to check for German scouts. Okay, so that's the introduction, and that had alarm bells running for me. Now, I did mention this in my January ramble, but in case you haven't watched that, let me go through what's going through my mind as I read that very short introductory paragraph. First of all, the title, A Cold Morning in Belgium. It didn't say a cold morning in France or anywhere else. It says Belgium. Okay, so that's already got me going. Woo. Your squad on garrison duty in a quiet sector of the front. That's also got me going. Woo. Belgium, quiet sector of the front, and it's cold. Okay, just east of a running river. On this misty, snowy morning, your men have been ordered to patrol. Okay, a bombed out building. So those three things: cold morning in Belgium, quiet sector of the front, and it's misty and snowy. That's got me thinking Ardennes offensive, or for you Americans, the Battle of the Bulge. So that's the alarm bells that are running in my head just from that short little paragraph. So it's making me think, okay, this is going to, and I'm starting on the board, so I'm going to be obviously on the defence. So the Germans will be on the attack. Belgium, 1944. Yeah, this is a bulge. And with a bulge scenario, I'm thinking armour. Last scenario, we were introduced to vehicles with a Kugelwagen and a Jeep. This one, I'm thinking, there's going to be tanks. And as it's the Germans on the offensive, the Germans are going to have tanks. That I get from just that paragraph. Anyway, let's carry on. It says your squad, you can use the pre-generated squad, your own continuating squad, or can you generate a new squad? Well, I'm going to use the guys that have done me so proud so far. So we are bringing back Ambrose as the squad leader. We are bringing back Bell as his trusty sidekick. Cornwell, Dillon, Evans, Fraser, Gibson and Hudson. So this is my actual team or squad. So there have been at the end of Mission 2, I did up some upgrades, and I've done all my purchases, and I'll go through my weapon purchases. But Ambrose has lost his Sten gun or whatever it is, not Sten, that's the British, isn't it, the Thompson, and has been given an M1 instead. In fact, everyone's got an M1 apart from Fraser, who's got a bazooka. Why did I purchase a bazooka? Because I feel like, as I said from that intro, there's going to be some armour, and I don't think a grenade is going to cut it with an armour, or even the Browning is going to cut it, so I thought a bazooka is going to be required. I have no satchel charges. So that's my team, and it's a continuation of from Mission 2. Setup. So it tells me to use map B. The top of the map is the east edge, so that's the east, not the north. And again, that makes me think, yeah, because the Germans will be coming in from the east if it's Bulge. So I'm imagining there's going to be an offensive from that northern section of the map. Place your soldiers in 3 different buildings. That's what I've done. There's 3 different buildings here. Okay, of your choice. Your squad has a jeep. I have a jeep that you can place in any clear hex adjacent to a road. I place it on the road there. Any clear hex adjacent to a road. So let's place it there. Okay. Building hex L10. This one here. Contains a fuel dump with dozens of fuel gas cans. So again, that's making me go bulge, bulge, bulge. And that movie scene from the Battle of the Bulge, not the greatest war movie of all time by a long shot, but it's definitely an entertaining movie. And in there is a fuel dump. So that again is screaming to me German offensive, Battle of the Bulge. Unlike other missions, this mission has no activation levels. So that's interesting because the Germans all enter by random events. That's telling me there's no Germans on the map board as is. Then special rules for this scenario. Weather. A light mist over the area reduces visibility to 6 hexes for the duration of the mission. So no long range fire here. Unless stated otherwise in a paragraph, unless it tells me that the fog clears temporarily. And hence what this 6 is here to remind me of that, because yeah, in the heat of things I might forget, and then I've got to keep looking at this 6. I'm going to keep it next to the German activations to remind me. Next special, paragraph checks. When in action rounds, do not conduct paragraph checks when your soldiers enter hexes. So that's interesting. So during the action rounds, when we get there, I will not be checking as I enter through hexes. Paragraph checks for hex entry are conducted normally during operations. Remember, the operations are the fast things. Action rounds when I start using this particular chart there. The river. Okay. This time it is a river, not a stream. The water barrier from A6, which is over here, right down over here, is a river. A river can be entered only by crossing an intact bridge. And there are only 2 bridges across the river. So we have the rail bridge here and the road bridge here. So that river can only be crossed there by anything. Then it says then talks on about a radio. And I thought, okay, I can't buy a radio. It doesn't mention anything about it, but at least I have Move Out, which had an errata. It says your squad is given a radio. I thought that's useful to know, because it then gives me rules about how to use the radio, but didn't actually specifically say during the equipment that I got a radio. So luckily that is covered in the errata in Move Out expansion. But it says the radio requires 1 port box to carry and is considered manned as long as it's in a hex with an active US soldier. Well, I've given it to Ambrose for obvious reasons. He's the squad leader, so to me he'd be armed, equipped with the radio. When the radio is manned, a paragraph may allow you to receive and send instructions by radio. The radio is unmanned if not in a hex of an active US soldier or if it is destroyed. So when the soldier carrying the radio is wounded, incapacitated or killed by any means, roll percentile die on a result of 25 or less, the radio is destroyed. So in other words, I need to keep Ambrose maybe out of the firing line so he can keep manning the radio. So that's the special rules. The last part is the victory conditions. It says you need 25 victory points to win, which was the same as the last mission, which I failed by 1. Boo-hoo. You receive 1 victory point for each of the following hexes that any of your soldiers enter. And that's what I put the green cubes on here. Up there, up there. So it was interesting to me. I looked at that before I set these guys up. And I thought, So East Edge, I've got to explore close to the East Edge. So I'm imagining that the Germans will be coming on from the East Edge. For each of the following hexes that any of your soldiers enter. Okay, so I get there's effectively 7 victory points on the map out of 25. That's not nice. Other VP awards are revealed during the mission. or probably, you know, obviously German soldiers and such forth. Victory point loss for an incapacitated soldier can be avoided by moving him off the map from hex A13 through to A19. So that's these two here. So I can carry or use the Jeep to take some of my soldiers off here. So the potential for withdrawal is high by the looks of it. I don't know if I'm going to have to withdraw completely or whatever, but it doesn't say that I can take an incapacitated soldier, like it said in the last mission, into a particular building. He doesn't count. It's telling me if they get incapacitated, to stop them counting against me victory point wise, I have to get them off here. So it's quite implicit on that one. The method by which this mission ends is revealed during play. So whereas in previous one I had to scout the village, and it told me as soon as I scouted all the buildings, that's how the mission ended. This one is not telling me how it ends. I have no idea, other than I can think that panzers will be coming in, and probably I've either got to pull out or destroy a tank or so. I have not. Honestly, I'm just using that first paragraph as a guide, which I could be completely wrong. It could be early December or even November in Belgium, rather than December the 19th when the Ardennes offensive began. So yeah, I'm completely in the dark, which I like. I do like that because I've got to cover all angles. So let me quickly go through my weapon purchases and why I did those weapon purchases I did. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, I stopped or removed the submachine gun from Ambrose because that's worth, as it says, the Thompson, 6 weapon points. I've only got a grand total of 38. So I thought, if I want a bazooka, because I've got a feeling there's going to be tanks. So this is my little 38 points of weapons. I kept the bar. Okay, so that's 8 points. The bazooka is also 8 points. So that means I've got 6 dudes who need M1s. So they're 2 points each, hence 12 points. Each weapon also comes, when you purchase the weapon, comes with 1 clip of ammo. Okay. Then I brought an additional 20 clips, which are 1 point for 5, so hence 4 points. Then I spent, I wanted 9 grenades, which cost 3 points. 1 point on your weapons gets you 3 grenades. I then bought 2 additional ammunition for the bazooka, so I've got a total of 3 shots because it comes with 1. I get 2 other. And the guy with the bazooka, I've given him a pistol, which doesn't take up any portage space and comes with a clip as well. So hence that total there, 38 points. Okay, just double check, make sure I have my maths is good. 12 plus 8 is 20, 28, 32, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 38 weapon points. Which, when we now look at my line out, again, we have Ambrose with an M1 and the radio, and he's got 4 clips of ammo, 2 grenades. Bell, the assistant squad leader, again armed with an M1, 3 rounds of ammo, 2 grenades. Cornwall, M1, 3 rounds of ammo, 1 grenade. Dylan, the bar takes up 2 portage points. He's got the most ammo. Okay, the B is standing for bar ammo, and he's basically got 6. I've not given him a grenade, though he did prove useful for a grenade in the previous scenario. I've given him all ammo. Evans, again M1, 3 ammo and a grenade. Fraser, he's armed with the bazooka, which only takes 1 portage point, which was a little bit surprised. He's also got the P40, the pistol. That's also an ammo slot, and these are ammo slots. He's also carrying 2 shots for the bazooka and a grenade. Gibson, M1, 4 lots of ammo. He's a good shot, bit slow, but he is a good shot, hence why I give him the slightly more ammo. And then all our favourites, Hudson. Okay, he's got an M1, he's got 2 shots of ammo, and he's carrying 1 extra charge for the bazooka and a grenade. So Hudson and Fraser will be pretty much together all the time. And that's what I've done here in my initial setup. So let me zoom in. Okay, and you can see what I've got going on. So in this building here, we have Hudson and Fraser with the Baz and a P45, additional weapons. I don't need to carry those, but I do. In this building here, we have Dylan with the bar and Gibson with Bell. So this is my fire team as I look at it, because the first thing I'm going to investigate is these 3 rubble. That's the plan. See what happens and gets unleashed. Once I've done that, I'm going to move back probably here and go and investigate. So I should have, that was a bit off camera. So that's the first thing that I want to investigate, is that lot, and then eventually that lot. Okay, so that's the overall plan of scouting. I have no idea what will be approaching from that edge, but that's where I think the Germans will be coming, and probably, it says they're coming by random events, so they might be triggered by me exploring that. But eventually we have to get over there, because there's another 4 victory points sitting there. Okay, and in the, what was the railway yard, and still there's a railway there, we have Ambrose with the radio, Evans and Cornwall. So that is my assault team, scouting teams. They're the ones that's going to go and investigate. Dylan will be watching from with the bar, giving cover, and then if we get any tanks, we know where to put Hudson. Well, Fraser with Hudson support. That's the initial plan. So let us begin. We have, I inserted the mission card in the sleeve, and we are on condition 1. There's no activation number as described in the special rules. Remember, visibility is 6 hexes. And then we're going to check each hex as we enter it. I haven't got my tweezers. Let me go and get my tweezers. Can't play these games without tweezers. And here they are. Hello, tweezers. Welcome to 2024. First time used in 2024. Okay. So where are we going to begin? Well, as I said, in a little bit of the ramble there, I'm going to start over here. So let me zoom in a little bit over that section. And we're going to start with Evans, who leaves the building and goes into, what row is that? That's a P, and that's P3, P4, P4. Oh, and he's doing it in a crouch. Yeah. So he enters P4 in a crouch. Now, do I get shot at instantly? Who knows? Let's have a look. So bringing out the old one of these, and it did say the journal will be brought in by random event. So just double check, make sure I have the first one in there, P4, and it's got the word none. So P4 none. So he then goes to Q4. P4, Q4, also none. I'll then bring up Cornwall. We'll go through. I suppose, even though it's my hex I set up, I suppose I better check it. So, P4. Let's check P5. None. Okay, he then crouches out and goes into P4. We know there's nothing there in those hexes. I'm keeping Ambrose back at the present moment because he's got the radio. Evans goes into the R3. R3. I do know my alphabet, honestly. R3. Oh, that's the first one that says the word event. So now I've got to roll the 2 dice to see what event we get. And I'm rolling, that's a 7. So 7 on the event table is what? It says 017. 017. That's when I get the paragraph book. 017. First event of the game. Better change my glasses so I can actually read the event. 17. A German artillery strike. Roll 1 die to determine the impact hex. Okay, so the dice is a 7. That tells me hex I11. I11. Okay, let me just get a little cube out. Where is I11? That's way over here. 9, 9, 10. Okay, let me just zoom out a little bit. So, artillery strike lands there. Assess artillery damage by placing a crater marker in a non-building hex. A building hex is reduced to rubble when hit. All soldiers and vehicles in a hex hit by artillery are killed and knocked out, respectively. Okay. Should I cheat and check all these hexes and put a little marker on it, just in case we get another artillery strike? No. That's just wrong. So we get an artillery strike, so we've got to place a crater. Is that a crater? That looks like a crater. It's a, look at this, outrageous. It's an unclipped counter. My goodness. Let's change that. Get out the faithful. Look at it, on live on screen, guys. There we go. Clipping. Yeah, I do this for all my counters. Good old. Yeah, I don't have one of these fancy dancy little machines. And there we go. Now a clip count and obviously little clip bits all over the board. So we now place that in I11. Boom! Artillery shell comes in, and I will now place an event marker in that hex because that means that won't happen again under this activation anyway. German artillery, that means something's afoot, doesn't it? Okay, let's continue. Swap the glasses again, so got the long range glasses on so I can see across the map board, short range glasses for reading the booklet. So Q4, we know that hex is fine, and then, because that was the one we've been in before, we'll now go to Q3 with Cornwall. Let's see what we have in Q3. Boom, 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 boom. Q3. Oh, yeah, again, I do know my alphabet and numbers. That's another event. Interesting. So rolling on the event table. Oh, rolling 2 dice. Add these 2 numbers together. 8 and 9, 17. So looking at event 17. And it gives me a number 257. So I go to paragraph 2, changing the glasses to the reading glasses, to gaming when you get to my age. Yeah, 2 sets of glasses, bifocals don't work for me. Yeah, 257 wasn't it? Yeah, 257. Right, every US soldier in a clear or road hex within sight of Y12 must conduct a PC check in a clear or road hex. no one's in a clear or road hex, so I can ignore that event and just place an event marker there, because that won't happen again. Interesting. Alright, so we'll just place the event marker. Boop. There it goes. Okay, do I want to advance Ambrose at all? I mean, you can see out the window, he's got the radio. I think he's happy that, and he's got both guys under command control at present. But as soon as Evans moves forward, he's going to be out of command control. I don't want that to happen because I don't want my guys to panic. So we will move Ambrose up. He'll go the same route. So he'll go there. Goes into crouch. There. We've been this route, so we're all okay. And he joins Evans with the radio. And then we will move Evans up. One more hex. So Ambrose stays there. And Evans moves into, that looks like S3. So let's have a look at that hex. That's another none. Now, I don't know if any of you guys follow Dad versus Son. But if you do, he has been playing Battle Hymn, and I love when he describes the nun event. He actually uses the word N-U-N rather than N-O-N. So we're talking about nuns, and he keeps on going and going about chapels and nunneries and such. I find it very amusing. I mean, you know, go and give him a watch, guys. He's good. Love him to bits. Okay, so nothing happens. Nothing? No, I'm not going to go down there. So nothing in that hex. So now we will move up Cornwall, and he'll move into these woods. Remember, I'm thinking this is where the Germans are going to be, or they're going to come from. So that is R4, R2. Okay, that's a none. R2 equals none. Yeah, I'm keeping notes. I found that I need to do this to keep notes about what's going on. Right, let's zoom a little bit more on those guys. Okay, in actual fact, let's move the camera up a little bit. There we go. All right, so do we go into the victory point hex straight away? Or do I think I'm going to move Evans into this hex here, just in case there's any Jerry things that we can't see. Now we've actually got line of sight over here. So we've just entered T5, T4, T3, T2. This is where we find a big panzer, isn't it? Oh, none. That's interesting. That means I can't see anything over here, because if there'd been something here, it would have told me, it would have given me a sighting or something. So T2, is none. Okay, I'm a little bit surprised by that. All right, so Cornwall. That is a hex we've been into before, so we don't have to go check the paragraph. All right, here's the big move. Let's go and see if we can capture this victory point. So Cornwall moves into T3. T3. It does have the word event, of course it does. Okay, so we roll those two dice. And we get 9 and 2 is 11. 11 on the event table tells me to go to paragraph 252. And 252 tells me what? It says S2 required. We haven't had a sighting. So otherwise no event. Now I believe that still means I place an event marker in there. Okay, and I've taken my first victory point. Yay! 1 down. 24 to go. Okay, let's keep moving these guys up then. So I'll now bring Ambrose into this hex. We know that's a none. And we'll move Cornwall into here, which is U6, 5, U4. U4. Yeah, it does take a little bit of time to get these paragraphs lined up. Again, it uses the word event. Roll the 2 dice. 6 and 4 is 10. Event 10. That tells me to go to 017. Oh, it looks like another artillery shell coming in. 017. 017. Yeah. Another artillery strike. Okay, rolling a D10, and I roll a 6, rising Q10. That's a bit closer. That is a wee bit closer. Q10, which is, I'm going to use that grey cube again. Q. Blimey, Q10. Oh, wow. Q2, oh yeah. Bang! Oh no! Okay, so that's hit the building. Assess artillery damage by placing a crater marker in a non-building hex. A building hex is reduced to rubble when hit. All soldiers and vehicles in a hex hit by artillery are killed and knocked out, respectively. Wow, that was close! Okay, so I'm going to place a rubble in that hex. Cool, blimey. Another unclip counter. So, where's my clippers? That's too close to call, man. In fact, I think I have Hudson in the adjacent hex, man. We're all dead, man. We're all dead. No, you ain't. You. God, blimey. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to use an event counter. So that, however, is my second victory point. I've just doubled my score. There we go, 2. And yeah, that was a bit scary. Okay, so next up, let's move Evans into U3. 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 That's a none. Okay. I think it's time to move Ambrose up a little bit, keep him within command control. And then we will move Evans into this hex here, which is V6, V5, V4, V3. It does say the word event, as I suppose it would do, wouldn't it? Okay, and the event this time is 8 plus 4 is 12. Okay, random event 12 is, oh, it's got an S2 there, so we've seen something. Oh, no, it hasn't. No. 8 plus 4 is 12, not 13. 252. I think we've had that one, haven't we? 252. 252. S2 required, otherwise no event. Okay, we haven't had a sighting 2 yet. So, all right, interesting. No Germans here then. I'm a little surprised by that, but that is my third victory point. 22 to go. What to do now then? So we've checked out that. Now I did say my original plan and idea was to then move over to those hexes there. So I think I need to move these guys to be able to cover. Remember the maximum hex visibility is 6 hexes. So I think these guys maybe move along the board edge. Check out this terrain, see if there's any sneaky little Germans hiding away there. Meanwhile, these guys can start moving over to these buildings to provide cover, because we need those 4 victory points. Where's the Jerry's? I really thought they'd be coming on over here. Well, anywhere along this edge. But we're seeing over here. Doesn't mean that they won't come in later. I mean, once the condition changes, there could be Germans coming over. But at the present moment, there are none. So I'm going to move through these woods and start moving over there, then move these guys. I mean, the Jeep. I think I want to keep the Jeep safe for carrying off wounded guys as and when required. And that, whew, well, I suppose another shell could land in this, so it's not a safe hex. We know that event 17 now has dropped a shell in here and here. Blimey. Don't sit in the obvious hexes. Right, okay, so let's move the camera a little bit and start moving these guys across. So Evans will, I don't know, let's go into U2. Oh yeah, that's U1, U2, U3. I've been in U3 before, so there's nothing there. Okay, then we go into T2. Been in T2 before, nothing there. Okay, and then into this hex here, which is S2. You haven't been in S2 before, so that is an event. Dropping the 2 dice. That is event 6. Which gives me a new paragraph number 257. No, this is one again saying about every US soldier in a clear or road hex. There are none in a clear or road hex at the present moment, so therefore it's classed as a no event. No, it still gets an event marker, so we won't be testing for that hex again. Okay, so that was S2. Right, let's bring back Cornwall, boom, no, S3, nothing, R2, we've been in before, so that's none. Okay, let's move Ambrose up, and let's move Evans into R1. Which is none. R1 equals none. Okay, carrying on then. Cornwall moves into here, which is Q2. It says none. Ambrose moves up, and Evan moves into Q1. Also none. Okay, I think it's time to start moving some of these guys up a little bit. You know what, I'm going to move my weapons team into the Jeep. Okay, so we're going to start with your hero and mine, Hudson's. He moves through that door into whatever hex that is. That's Q10, Q9, and it is a road. So if we get that event, Q9, none. Now, who's the best driver out of? So Hudson's got a drive of 4, and Fraser's got a drive of 0. So he won't be driving. So we'll have Hudson driving the Jeep when he gets there. So he actually gets to the Jeep, which is in R9, R8. R8. Which is none. Then Fraser comes out into that hex, we knows nothing, and gets onto the Jeep. Now I think they've got to be under the Jeep to be classed as in the Jeep. So I might just double check that. But they're in the Jeep. Okay, so I've just checked the rules. First I've actually needed to refer to the rules. And in the Jeep, they are placed underneath, and the driver is the one that's placed on the top. Okay, we'll keep them in crouch. I suppose they don't crouch when they're driving. No, so let's do that properly. They're not crouched. And there we go. That's why we use tweezers, folks, because the fingies get in the way. So we have Hudson driving the Jeep. And the Jeep's pointing that way. Okay, so they get to the Jeep. I haven't started the engine yet. I think it's time we start moving over to here because we need to get the victory points are over there. So we'll move Gibson into P8. Oh, that's an event. And he's on a road. I guess I get that one again. So I'll roll a 5 this time. Event with a 5. 4 plus 5, yeah. 145. That's different. 145. Every soldier with 8 hexes of C4. Well, C4 is way over here. No one's within 8 hexes of C4. Yeah, that's on the road way over here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to mark that as a non-event. But it's giving me information though that something is over there. Okay, I should have crouched him. I didn't. So if he'd been shot at, he'd have been uncrouched. So got to be careful of that. So that was hex P8. P8 was an event. Okay. We'll have Bell join him. And then we'll have Dylan with a BAR. No longer needs to give covering fire over there. He will go, oh, I suppose I've got to do Q8. Q8. That's a none. Okay. Not much happening, but that's the nature, isn't it? We don't know what's going to happen. So I want to occupy these buildings here with these guys. I'm going to keep the bazooka team in the Jeep at the present moment. So let's start with, I'll continue with Gibson. moving along the road into 08. 08. That's a none. Bell will join him, and Dylan will join them as well. Yeah, I'm not taking anything for granted on this, you know, just moving, having them stand up. I know it did seem a bit strange that they're on patrol, as it's described, and they're like scuttling around, but I found that if you know you're standing and you reveal something, yeah, it's going to hurt. So I'd rather crouch. It's counterintuitive, you know, you don't move around on patrol on a crouch, but I can't think of any other way to avoid getting really hurt. I can't just say, right, I'm looking at this building hex. I have to physically enter that hex to look at it, which is one of the slight, and I do use the word slight, flaws in the system. Okay, so Dylan moves on and enters N7. That's also a none. Bell joins him. Gibson joins them, and then we'll move Gibson on to M7. So, oh, that is an event. Hence why you can see why I'm crouching. M7, and I've rolled 9 plus 5 is 14. 14 on the event table. All right, so this has got an S2019, so that's a potential sighting. 019. Okay. This actually has the S2 in brackets, so it's a definite sighting. A signal flare explodes overhead. Ooh. Ooh, does that mean something's starting? Okay. Sighting 2 has occurred. So anything that now says must have sighting 2 to have occurred, that sounds like the start of something, doesn't it? Okay. So, well, especially in signal flare, I haven't fired it. Don't have to place a counter for a signal flare, but Gibson goes, what? Okay, I thought about a pause there just in case there was something to do with signal flares. I couldn't see any rules reference to it, so it's just something has happened, and that's the sighting. I think this might be a good time to end this episode because I'm conscious of time. I don't want the episodes to be too long. I know not much has happened other than me start the mission and sneak about, but let's take this back up to the top. Okay, where are the Jerrys? Red some to artillery. Oh, that artillery shell was so close. Wow. Yeah, where are the Jerrys? Okay, so I'm thinking that the signal flare is going to be the start of something, because that's sighting 2. So whenever it uses the word sighting 2 must have occurred, that's when, you know, and a signal flare is normally how something starts, isn't it? Because it's not night time. So yeah, I thought it was a good time to stop before the SHT starts hitting the fan. I've explored a little bit of the board when I say we're on patrol. I don't like having to be on patrol in crouch mode. It doesn't seem right, but the way I'm looking at it, they're hunkered rather than, you know, crawling around. So yeah, we don't know where Jerry is, and it seems to be the most sensible thing to do. And as I mentioned in mission 2, one of the things I find a little bit irksome is that I can't actually observe a hex without going into it, and I can't do recon by fire. I can't fire into hex with nothing in it. But hey, you know, they've done as best they can considering the times and dates. So thank you for joining me on the video. I hope it was fun. What I've done so far, I know nothing much has happened, but we've got started. And the next episode, I will continue in operations. So until next time, remember, play games, have fun, get this onto the table. I know you're probably saying, oh, well, how can we get it at the table? Because you've done mission 1, 2, and 3. Even if you do mission 1, go a different way than I did, different story starts to evolve. There's many things I should imagine, because I say I've done mission 1 twice now, or I've done it and my daughter's done it, and it was different. Well worth doing it. Get this game at the table. It's fun, and whatever else you decide to do, as long as you are having fun, that is the main thing. Until next time, bye internet.